I wanted to do a special Easter episode to show you how to make Italian lemon cookies. This is something that I used to eat at my grandma's house every Easter, so it reminds me of that. And this recipe came from my cousin Maria, and I only have a picture of the recipe from an old book, but the original author was Kay SanAntonio. That being said, the recipe has been changed and adapted many times because, as we all know, Italians don't like to follow recipes. So I'm going to show you my version today and see what you think.
As the granddaughter of a gardener, I learned to appreciate fresh food from a young age. Now with my own garden in the city, it's time to plant. As a registered dietitian, I'm inspired by the food I'm able to grow. I'll share my tips on how to be a nutritional cook and make homegrown the star of my recipes. Learning from educational resources, friends, and some wise seasoned veterans, I seek to uncover the secrets of gardening.
The first thing we're going to do is cream together 2 eggs and 3/4 of a cup of sugar. I love these eggs. They are pasture-raised Vital Farms eggs, and they tell you about the bird of the month. This month's bird is Valiant Vanna. She takes a break from foraging and pecking to quietly observe her idyllic pasture home. So, Vanna, she's awesome. And we get a little joke of the week. It says, "Oh no, my vase broke. Nothing a little cluck tape can't fix." I don't get that one. That one went over my head. Anyway, 2 eggs, no shells, please. I got a lot of shells, so hold on. And 3/4 cup of sugar. And I'm going to use one of these mixers to mix it up. It does a really good job of making it nice and fluffy. If you don't have one, you can just use a regular hand whisk. Okay, now that we've creamed together our eggs and our sugar, you can see it's kind of nice and fluffy. We're ready for next steps. The next thing we're going to do is melt 1/2 cup of vegetable shortening. So I've measured it out. I'm going to put it in the microwave. And in the meantime, we need 1 cup of milk. And again, I'm going to use my pea protein milk here. These are dairy-free for all those who do not eat dairy. If you want to follow the recipe the traditional way, you can use regular milk. But I also have successfully made these with oat milk as well. So if you don't want to use pea protein milk, you could use oat milk or regular milk are my recommendations. 1 cup of milk. Half a cup of Crisco, which is mostly melted. 2 teaspoons of lemon extract, or if you want them to be extra lemony, you can always add a little bit extra. Okay. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I never pour the salt over what I'm making because I will probably dump the whole salt bottle in. So always pour it over something else and then add it in. Okay, mix this all up again. Now you might notice that it's a little lumpy, and that's just because the Crisco didn't fully melt in the microwave. So if you don't fully melt your Crisco, you'll notice it looks a little lumpy, but it's fine. It will all work out later. The next thing is the flour. So you need 3.5 cups of flour. The key when you measure flour is you don't smush it down and pack it down, because then you have more than a cup. So you lightly scoop it and then level it off. That's 1 cup, and I already have 2 in here. So 3 cups and a half. Okay, and then we are going to do 5 teaspoons of baking powder. And that does seem like a lot. 5 teaspoons is a lot, but these are going to be like puffy clouds. They call them angel clouds. So they're going to rise and be very fluffy. Don't distract me while I count. I always lose track. 4, 5. Now, technically you are supposed to sift the flour. I don't do that. But if you want to be technical, sift the flour and they'll probably be even better than mine. So now I have the flour and the baking powder mixture. And what we're going to do is add in about half of this and then add the rest in by hand. And the reason we do that is because it's gonna start to form together so tightly that if you keep going with the mixer, you'll break it, which is what my cousin Maria taught me, and it's a great trick. So don't break your mixer. So I'm going to add in about half this. Okay, so you can hear the mixer starting to slow down as it's thickening up, so I'm going to add the last 1.5 cups by hand. Dough has been chilling for the past 30 minutes. Okay, so here's our dough. I did end up adding extra 1/2 cup of flour to mine. I did make this recipe with the oat milk yesterday, and I did not have to add any extra flour. So note that if you use the pea protein milk, you may need to add about 1/2 cup of extra flour. If you use the oat milk, you should be good to go just with the 3.5 cups of flour. So I'm going to put some flour on my hands as well. And just take about the size of a golf ball and form them into balls. And just roll them into balls and just spread them out. And you can keep your flour by your side as you work. Keep getting a little flour on your hands if needed. And again, just golf ball size. Don't get carried away because they will turn out like scones, as my friends call them. And we are aiming for cookies. And you want them to be about 1 inch apart. They are not going to get very wide, they're going to get tall, but you want to give them a little bit of space. So about 1 inch apart in between each one. And while I'm doing this, I have the oven preheating to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Here's our rolled out cookie dough. I was able to make 25, but if you can control yourself and not make them too big like me, you should probably be able to make about 30. But anywhere between 25 to 30 will be rough, correct. So we're going to put them in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes. I take them out at 8, check them, and then you can always put them in for a few more minutes because you don't want to overcook them. And as they say, for us cooks, clean as you go. I've never been very good at that, but I do try to stay organized as I cook because otherwise by the end it looks like an explosion has gone off. So I try to be better and clean my spaces as I go along. So mostly because you're watching me today. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do the icing, which will go on top of the cookies. So with the icing, it is powdered sugar, lemon flavoring, and water. Pretty simple. 2 cups of confectioner's powdered sugar, and 1 teaspoon of lemon extract, which is about the same as a catful. So I have a couple tablespoons of cold water, and you're just going to slowly add it in until it comes together. There's no exact science here, so this is just going to take a little bit of eyeballing, my favorite thing. So, like I said, slowly adding in the water. You can always add more, you can't take it away. If you do add too much water, just add a little bit more powdered sugar. Okay, so this is coming together, but that's too thick, so we want it to be a little bit thinner. So let's add a little bit more water. Okay, so it's been 8 minutes, and we're going to check them. So how you can tell is if you pick one up and the bottom is not browned yet, it's not done. So we'll check both levels. Yeah, so not quite. Okay, check number 2. This is 3 minutes later. We're getting a golden brown. Now working while these are still warm, they've just come out of the oven. We are going to work quickly to get the icing on them, and then sprinkles. We use rainbowed sprinkles because it's Easter, but you can use, any kind of sprinkles you want. Okay, so you're gonna take them, they're a little warm. You can do it 2 ways. You can either dunk it in, kind of give it a twist, and put it on, and sprinkle it up immediately. All right, or you can put them all on your tray, and you can just spoon the icing on top and kind of let it drip down. So whichever way you prefer. But the important thing is to get the sprinkles on right away. See, I told you I made a mess. Make a mess. I tend to like the method of just swirling it and putting it right in the icing. But you can do it how you like. And this putting the sprinkles on is a great job for the people who like to help you cook, but you kind of don't want to help. They can't mess this one up, right? So just give them the sprinkle job. That's a good job to give people. People love to put sprinkles on. And this one is going to be for the camera crew. Let us know what you think. Is it good?
Mm-hmm. Yum.
So here it is, the final product. Now, if that doesn't look like Easter, I don't know what does. It's the perfect thing for Easter. Now, let's see what the professional thinks of these. Okay, what do you think? How did I do? Give it a taste test. Tell me what you think. What do you think? Good? It's a winner, guys. Make these for your family for Easter. They'll love it. Happy Easter!